Get ready for non-stop action. Jon Silva is making a bold vow ahead of his potential clash with Alexander Volkanovski. He's not holding back, folks, saying he'll walk away from the UFC if he doesn't get the win. What does this mean for his future in the octagon? Plus, UFC commentator Jon Anik is admitting the recent events haven't exactly been showstoppers, echoing fan frustrations about the quality of recent cards. Is the UFC losing its edge? And hold on to your hats, because Islam Makhachev's manager is spilling the tea on a done-deal summer fight, and that Ilia Topuria showdown that never was. We're diving deep into what went down behind the scenes. Plus, Ariel Helwani is calling out Dana White's comments on the Jon Jones situation. What's really going on with the heavyweight champ? Stick around, you don't want to miss this. Hit that like, subscribe, and ring the bell.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Jon Silva's UFC Ultimatum: walk away or fight for survival. UFC fighter Jon Silva has just thrown down the gauntlet, declaring he will leave the promotion if he loses his potential fight against Alexander Volkanovski. This isn't just talk. Silva is calling out Volkanovski directly, questioning his willingness to engage and suggesting a fight focused on striking rather than grappling. He's afraid of facing me. What does he want to do? Defend against takedowns for 25 minutes? Let's just stop all the BS. Let's think straight about it. Let's go in and exchange some strikes, Silva stated, clearly laying out his intentions for a decisive, stand-up battle. This bold declaration puts immense pressure on both fighters, especially Volkanovski, who is looking to solidify his legacy. Silva's ultimatum raises the stakes significantly, turning a potential bout into a must-win scenario for his UFC career. The MMA community is buzzing, with fans debating Silva's confidence and Volkanovski's potential response to such a challenge. Will Jon Silva's gamble pay off, or will this be his UFC swan song? Next, we're breaking down why UFC commentator Jon Anik feels the recent events have been a serious letdown. UFC's lull, Jon Anik admits recent events lackluster. Even the voices of the UFC are feeling the heat. Commentator Jon Anik has candidly admitted that the recent weeks of UFC events have been far from stellar, echoing sentiments shared by many fans. He pointed to cards lacking star power and compelling matchups, noting how his own Saturday night viewing habits have changed from never missing a fight to often skipping events altogether. Anik, speaking on the Anik and Florian podcast, contrasted the current landscape with a decade ago when UFC events were appointment viewing, even for casual observers. He expressed concern over the sheer volume of fights, over 500 per year, making it increasingly difficult for the promotion to consistently deliver must-see spectacles. It's a lot to continuously ask to hit triples and home runs, Anik explained, highlighting the challenge of maintaining excitement. He confessed, "I can have an honest conversation like this and tell you that I'm going to put my promotional best foot forward in a couple weeks. We have a tremendous card, and we're going to blow it out, and I can't wait for that. But yeah, it hasn't been a great few weeks to be sure." The candid admission from a prominent UFC figure has resonated deeply with the fan base, sparking widespread discussion about the promotion's matchmaking and the overall quality of its product. Many are looking forward to the UFC 307 card Anik mentioned, hoping it will mark a return to the electrifying events of the past. But is this just a temporary slump or a sign of bigger issues? Coming up, we've got exclusive details on Islam Makhachev's next big fight and why a superfight with Ilia Topuria fell apart. Makhachev's manager drops bombshell. Summer title defense, done deal, Topuria fight never close. Forget the superfight hype. Islam Makhachev's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, has revealed that a highly anticipated showdown between Makhachev and Ilia Topuria was never truly on the table. Abdelaziz told TMZ that while the UFC did inquire about the possibility, the promotion changed its plans before he could even present the offer to Makhachev. "I got called about Ilia to fight Islam," Abdelaziz recounted. "It was middle of the day, Islam was sleeping, and I was excited about it. And after that, I got called back and said, 'Never mind, the fight is not gonna happen.' before even I talked with Islam. This contradicts earlier reports and suggests a significant disconnect in negotiations. Abdelaziz also hinted that Topuria's team might have used financial demands as a tactic to avoid the fight, though he acknowledged the desire for a big payday. I can say, I'm gonna fight Francis Ngannou, give me $50 million, right? I don't blame anyone for trying to make the most money they can, he stated. Instead, Abdelaziz confirmed that Makhachev has a welterweight title defense, done deal, for the summer, with the UFC expected to announce the opponent soon. He also mentioned that if Topuria had indeed vacated his lightweight title, Justin Gaethje would have been slated to fight Arman Tsarukyan for the undisputed belt. This news has fans speculating about who will step up to challenge Makhachev for his 170-pound title, with names like Jack Della Maddalena, Ian Machado Gary, and Michael Morales being discussed. So, what's the real story behind the negotiations that never were? And later, Ariel Helwani is challenging Dana White's narrative on Jon Jones' UFC future. Helwani slams White. Jon Jones' UFC situation makes zero sense. Ariel Helwani is pushing back hard against Dana White's recent comments regarding the UFC's situation with heavyweight champion Jon Jones. White had stated that Jones was never going to be on the UFC Freedom 250 card, and that it was fair to consider him done with the promotion, a claim that Jon Jones himself refuted, stating he was in negotiations and felt lowballed for a potential fight against Alex Pereira. Helwani, citing multiple sources that corroborate Jones' account, finds White's stance baffling. So if we are to believe Dana White right now, Helwani questioned on X, are you telling me that they negotiated with people? Because Jon's numbers, everything he's saying, I've heard as well from multiple sources, only to not actually be serious about putting him on the card. So why the hell were they negotiating? So why were they talking to his lawyer? Why were they talking to his team? Why were they even getting into numbers at all? He further elaborated. Dana White being adamant that Jon Jones was never going to be on the card makes zero sense, considering other UFC officials were negotiating with his team and lawyer. This public disagreement has fueled speculation and debate among fans and analysts alike, with many questioning the transparency and consistency of the UFC's communication regarding its top stars. The situation leaves the future of Jon Jones and his potential return to the octagon shrouded in uncertainty. Will we ever get clarity on the Jon Jones situation? Stay tuned for our full recap and what it all means for the UFC. What a whirlwind of UFC news. Silva's career hangs in the balance against Alexander Volkanovski. Jon Anik admits recent UFC cards have been a drag. Islam Makhachev's manager confirms a summer title defense and debunks the Topuria Superfight. And Ariel Helwani is calling out Dana White over the Jon Jones drama. Don't miss a single second of the action. Like this video, subscribe to news, hit that notification bell, drop a comment with your thoughts, and follow us on all socials for more breaking updates. We'll see you next time.